Hi, welcome to Mrs. Park's Algebra 1 class. This is a Chapter 1 review. So during the summer, you've worked on various skills that you've learned during pre-algebra class. So Chapter 1 is really a review of pre-algebra, what you've done last year. So we're going to do just a quick review of Chapter 1 the next couple of days, and then just move on to Chapter 2. All right, so Chapter 1. Right, so what is chapter one working on? It's a lot of it's order of operations, and you've done this since elementary school. If you remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You've done that, um, and I don't know if in pre-algebra or seventh grade, eighth grade math, you probably had a chance to make your own. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I had a student before. He used different acronyms. He used please eat my delicious apple strudel. So you can come up with your own by all means, as long as you remember what they stand for. So a lot of it you've heard, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or PEMDAS, if you pronounce it out, it's PEMDAS. But here's what's the real important thing is you need to know what they stand for. So P stands for parentheses. E is exponents, so if you have like 2 to the third power. M stands for multiplication. D stands for division. A stands for addition. And S stands for subtraction. Okay, but there's some special occasions where you have to do multiplying, dividing, and adding, subtracting in certain orders. So when you look at a problem, you first see if there's a parentheses. And then the next thing you would do is work with exponents. Okay, so that's the first two. So evaluate expressions using grouping symbols. That's the parentheses part. Step 2 is evaluate all powers, the exponents part. Okay, so step 3 and 4, multiply and or divide from left to right. Okay, so multiplication and division, they're kind of a pair. And add, addition, subtraction, they're kind of a pair. So they're saying if it boils down to multiplying and dividing, you're not going to do always multiply first, you're going to actually do from left to right. And same thing for adding subtraction, you're going to go from left to right. Okay. So when it comes to just adding, subtracting, you're going to go from left to right. So same for multiplication. So for example, if I have a problem that says 3 minus 4 plus 8 plus 9 minus 13. Okay, so all you have is adding and subtracting. That means you go from left to right. You're not going to do add everything first and then subtract. You're just going to go from left to right. So from here, 3 minus 4, negative 1. Negative 1 plus 8 is 7. 7 plus 9, 16. 16 minus 13, and that equals 3. Okay. So that will be the final answer. You're not going to do adding first and then subtract later. You'll just go from left to right. Same goes for multiplying, dividing. When you have a problem and you're down to just multiplying and dividing, you're going to go from left to right. Okay? All right, so here's another example. Okay, so evaluate. Evaluate means solve it. Okay, so 16 minus 8 divided by 2 to the second power plus 14. Okay, remember, PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and then I'm going to just put this and this in parentheses because I know it's going to go from left to right when it comes to these two. Alright, so parentheses. Do you see any parentheses? No, you do not. So go to the next one. Exponents. So here I see exponents. That's why it's in red here. So that's the first thing they did. Evaluate the powers. So 2 to the second power means 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, that was the first step. Next step I have here 16 minus 8 divided by 4 plus 14. So when it comes to minus, divide, add, division is the next thing you're going to do because that's these two are before adding or subtracting. So I'm going to divide first. 8 divided by 4, that became a 2. Okay. Here's when you have subtraction and addition. You're going to go from left to right. Okay, so 16 minus 2 is what they did first. Okay, bring down the plus 14. 14 plus 14 equals 28. There's your final answer. Okay, so if this is your first time watching any of Mrs. Park's videos, you're going to have some slides where it says your turn. Okay, so your turn means you're going to do this part. That means you will pause the video, go get a piece of paper. Well, really, you should have paper and pencil before you watch the video. So before you start watching any videos, you should have paper and pencil ready and a calculator if you have one. Alright, so when you see in these slideshows your turn, that means on your piece of paper you write letter number 1A, actually this is 1A and 1B. Okay, so on your piece of paper write down the problem 1A, solve it, and then write down 1B and solve it. Make sure on that paper you write your name and the date and what lesson this is. Alright, so here's your chance to do that. So pause the video and come back when you're done. Okay, welcome back. All right, we're moving on to the next set of skills, distributed properties. So again, this is a review from your pre-algebra class. Distributed property, the word distribute here, okay, means give out. Okay, hand out, give out. So if I say distribute these properties, distribute these papers, then I mean please hand out, give out these papers. All right, so what are we handing out, giving out? In this sense, we mean hand out, give out by multiplying. Okay, so you've probably seen these arrows before. Okay, so when those arrows means multiply. A times B, AB. You use the same sign here, plus, so you put a plus. Then A times C is AC. Okay, same thing if you have that A in the back of the parentheses, you're still going to do the same thing. So you're going to give out by multiplying A times B. Okay, you write as BA, or AB, it's the same thing. A times C, or CA. Okay? And it's the exact same thing when you have subtraction here, then you're going to write subtract in the middle. Okay, subtraction here, subtraction here. Here's an example. You do 3 times 2, and you get 6. And then you do 3 times 5, and you get 15. Okay, so you're going to add, and 6 plus 15 is 21. Now subtraction, 4 times 9, minus 4 times 7. 4 times 9 equals 36. 4 times 7 is 28, and you're subtracting those two, and you get 8. All right, so use the distributive property to rewrite 7 times 49, then evaluate. Okay, so this is actually putting the distributive property backwards. So here's a 7. 49 is actually, you're going to take this out and say it's 49, same thing as 50 minus 1. So if you take 50 minus 1, so here's distributive property, right? So 7 times 50 minus 7 times 1, and that 7 times 50 is 350, 7 times 1 is 7, subtracted in 343 is what you get. Alright, so here's your turn. Again, pause the video, do 2A and 2B. They're asking you to use a distributive property to rewrite each expression, then evaluate. So just how we did in the previous slide. So this is a good skill to do when you're watching these videos. If you want to go back, you can always pause the video and rewind and watch the previous slide again. So what we did here, you can rewind and watch again. Okay, so go ahead and do numbers 2A and 2B and come back when you're done. All right, welcome back. Okay, rewrite each expression using the distributive property, then simplify. Okay, this time they're adding a little kick to it. They add a variable. Remember, a variable is just any letter. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. Distributive property, 7 times 3W, okay, minus 7 times 5. Okay. 7 times 3W, you can go ahead and do 7 times 3 and write 21 and add a W. So 21W minus 7 times 5 became 35. And here, that's your final answer. You can't really do anything with this. 21W minus 35. That's your final answer. All right, here's your turn, 3A through 3D. Okay, you're just doing distributive property here. You're distributing here. Okay, one thing to watch out when you have a negative number, you're doing negative 6 times R, negative 6 times 3G, and negative 6 times negative T. Okay, so you're going to actually have a positive there because when you do a negative times negative, that makes it positive. Okay, so watch out for the negative ones. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, do those numbers, and come back when you're done. Oh, actually, that's the last slide. So when you're done, make sure you have all your answers for this homework, your name on the top, the title of the video, and make sure you hand it in for homework. Okay, thanks for watching.